Hello and welcome to SB's tutorial on mapping. I don't know why I call it that, but anyway, I do. So here's what I do. We're talking about something that looks like maybe in one frequency, it's pretty awesome, another frequency, pretty problematic, as is true for a lot of stuff, including anxiety and being planful and excellence and all sorts of stuff. But in this case, we're talking about being vigilant, right? This person is particularly vigilant. And, he has earned that vigilance through his service, right? Like that's been very protective for him. But now he's a civilian and he doesn't need to be as vigilant, right? And in fact, vigilance is becoming a problem. So I draw my little arc here because gay rainbows, no, because more space to write. And then I put a 0% and 100% down here. And I do that really just so that we have a way to talk numbers through the screen, right? Instead of saying like over here, it's just too hard. So first thing that I do is I go, okay, well, like we're talking about vigilance here. Like what would it be like to have zero vigilance in your life? What would that be like in your mind, in your body, in your days, in your behaviors? And then I write notes, blah, blah, blah. It would be like this, this, and this. And usually what we find is a mixed bag, right? There's some good aspects, there's some problematic aspects. And then we do it the same over here. Okay, well, how about 100% vigilance? What if you were vigilant 100% of the time ever you went, oh, okay, well, often it's exhausting or whatever. Okay, so we get our two extremes mapped, and immediately we see that we don't want to be at either extreme. This is extra helpful when I'm working with people around things like anxiety, where they're like, where is the switch to turn this off? And of course, the answer is there is no switch. And when we do this, we can see like, oh, actually, if I had a switch, I wouldn't use it because I would lose all the cool parts about this. So good to know, right? And then the next thing I say is, okay, well, like, where do you tend to hang out? This is where the numbers become extra useful because I can go, well, like, actually, I've been hanging out at like, 80 to 90%. Like, oh, yeah, gosh, tell me what 80 to 90% have been like for you lately. And then we get that mapped out. Oh, yeah, that's what that's like. That's how we know you're there. All right. Where would you like to be? Sometimes I switch colors for this. Hey, green now. And so maybe they say, well, actually like 45. 45 sounds pretty good. I think I would get the best of both worlds at 45. Oh, interesting. Okay, so tell me about 45. What would that be like? How would you know you were there in your mind, in your body, in your life? How would you identify that? Okay, now we're capturing these notes. Right, so now you've got indicators every part of the way, what the mind feels like, what the body feels like, what the life looks like, which is giving them cues to work from. Okay, all good so far, right? And now, all right, so now tell me what it's like when you're heading in this direction. How do you know you're heading that way? Well, I notice I won't sit with my back to the door anymore, right? I notice that I'm always scanning for the exits, whatever, right? Like, oh, okay. And what is that like in your body? Oh, well, I feel this tension in my shoulders or whatever the case may be. All right, now we know we're heading this direction. And ideally, we're going to start rolling it back so that he's not catching it here. He's catching it over here. Like, wringing my hands. I always do that. I've noticed because I've been paying attention because I've been practicing mindfulness with my coach. I've been wringing my hands. Oh, that's that time. Okay, good info. Now, what do you know? Or what experiments could you run about how to roll it back this way? So once you notice you're doing these behaviors, or perhaps you're all the way over here, what do you know about this? Well, I've been learning this mindfulness stuff, and I find that when I talk to my spouse, that's really helpful. And, when I go for a nice long walk, right? This is basically the whole activity. So again, we're getting the either side. We're sort of level setting, to use the modern jargon. And then we're looking at where they're hanging out, on average. People will sometimes get caught up on the number. Ask them to just make something up and keep rolling. The number itself doesn't matter, of course. We're just trying to get to the ideas. Where they would be ideally, right? How they know they're heading this way, how they get themselves back this way. And now they've got a whole actionable plan, right? Now it's not just awareness building. Now it's that they know what to look for and they know how to move themselves back. I'd love to hear what y'all think and if and how this works for you.